I'm just gonna tell you what happened since that gang stalking video. So, I waited here. It gets juicy, guys. I waited here, and I had to fight through all the feelings of powerlessness. First, I want to show you, look at this thunderstorm with tornadoes. There are tornadoes brewing in the clouds, and they're coming down sporadically to pick up shit and throw it. Some places the lightning comes out of the ground and into the sky. But, so I was here. Remember, there was a guy last night that was just staring at me, watching me for about 30 minutes. And I felt it ripping at me, like I had presence and songs and energy, you feel me? And humility, no pride, no connection to society. Just like I was as a kid, building my energy back, keeping peace, pushing it, making art, you feel me? And then that guy showed up. After that guy left, he popped an umbrella, he took one last look at me, he stared me directly in my eyes, and then walked away like this. I'm gonna show you real quick. Now that the light's on, I want to show you how these guys walk. Can't tell you why. I don't know what's going on. So they'll come in, and at first they're normal, they're walking around normal. Then all of a sudden I feel a connection, bam, something shot out of that guy's head, hits me right in the aura. And then all of a sudden the guy goes, can you see it? Is there enough light? Let me show you real quick. Tell me why, and this is it all the time. So there's a normal guy walking. Man, it's hard to see. I'm putting it against the light. Come on, bitch. How's this? It's gotta be against the light. Come on, I'm trying. I'm really trying here. Hold up. Okay, how's this? Good? Can you see me? Okay. So they walk around normally. They're on their phone. They're like looking around. Calm. There's like a flow of their movement. They're at peace. And then all of a sudden, when I feel jolted, these strangers go like this. Why? He was doing this for like 20 minutes. 20 minutes, and then he'd stop and look at me. And then when I turn the camera on, so he's going like this, staring at me, I hit the button, he goes. And then the whole time I'm feeling like, okay, I need to keep my attention over here. I can't invest in whatever's going on because I can feel like there's a portal opening up in the etheric dimensions that's ripping out my songs. And every time I feel I lose something, he gets a little bit taller like this. And it went on for like a half hour. But someone in my chat prayed for me. And then all of a sudden he went. And then after the guy commented that he prayed, he went back up. And then right at the end, when I felt lifeless, I was like, oh, fuck, they triggered all my past traumas where I felt like I was spiritually raped, and they made me feel weak again. I felt like the king in the north. What's happening, Melody? Yeah. So, birds going left to right. It just kind of brought up some past stuff. I was like, oh, it's a sequence of events that happens. And then he turned around, flicked an umbrella open, and then walked away. Later, because here, and that happens to me once a day. if I'm feeling good. Who's Ari? Who are you? What are you doing in my chat? What the fuck are you doing in my chat? I'm in a thunderstorm! There's a tornado in the sky! It's coming for white America. Listen. So these guys are fat white pricks. You feel me? These guys are stupid. They're very whiny. They're like little babies. And they get very mad at people like me that just like to sit at peace. You feel me? Ah! Ah! So listen. Hey, listen. So I have to leave in the mornings. The thunder's still going down. All my shit is in the river. I have to leave on my bike and I'm going down the road to Shaw's. On my way to Shaw's. So it's down here. It's to the left a little bit. Then I have to take a little ride down this way. I have to take a little ride down that way, go this way, and then there's a bike path that goes down that way. Then I have to pass a homeless camp. Then I have to go over a bridge and get to Shaw's. Tell me why everywhere I went, so say, take it in sections. Down this hill, bang a left, then I'm going down this street, bang a right, then I go towards the bike path, then I bang a left, go towards that. Tell me why every time I turn, there's somebody walking like this. And then they walk left to right in the way of my bike, and they stop in front of my bike. Like none of them were real, and they were all just obstacles that were getting in the way as I'm trying to power through with the force of 1,000 eagles and just get to where I'm going. Then I get there and I need this umbrella. So I go in and I get an umbrella. How? I'm not going to tell you how I acquired this umbrella. You feel me? But I get this umbrella. I've been awake for 2 days. So I just, in the middle of the thunderstorm, I put the umbrella on and I curl up in the fetal position. I grab my umbrella and I'm just laying on the wet ground. And I slept for like 6 hours. Woke up completely soaked. What the fuck is happening right now? We're all gonna make it, guys. Do a reverse rain dance. Go outside and do a reverse rain dance, please. I can't take any more rain. The rain just hit me in the face. I said I can't take any more rain, and then a gust of wind smacked me in the face. So I got this. Eventually, I went to a laundromat to dry off. I go in there. It's very peaceful and quiet. I turn around. The whole place is empty. I turn back around, and then there's just a big fat white man like this. And then he picks up his whole laundry hamper. Sit over here, bitch. You can't fucking see that way. Oh no! Bollocks! Crikey, mate, I dropped it. And my umbrella left. Oh, fuck you. You're not gonna get me. My umbrella keeps flying away. My fucking umbrella keeps flying away. My fucking umbrella keeps flying away. You're gonna watch me fix this. You're gonna like it, bitch. I'm a fucking handyman. Fastest guy in the room, just being brave. I'm not British, I'm Irish! I'm Irish and indigenous! Laddie! I just scared a mouse. Look, there's a mouse running. I scared a mouse out into the rain. There's too much wind. Where'd my umbrella go? So all these guys are here. I pass out. I go to the thing. The guy is standing right in front of me. You better not fucking fly away, you cheeky cunt. Can you see me? Hello? Earth to the public. Is anyone home? Wake up! Wake up! Is anyone home? Is anyone in there? I'm picking your mind. Ready? Fuck you. The wind is my biggest op today. Hold up. What do I keep looking at over there? What am I expecting to see? Fuck you. Listen. Oh, he picks up a giant hamper. Amadeus. He picks up his hamburger launcher. He's still staring me down like this. I'm literally just standing there. Bruh. I'm just standing there. Waiting for all my clothes to dry in the dryer. He picks up his laundry hamper and he slams it on the ground, and then he stares me down again. So I'm like, okay, this is like a angry NPC robot possessed by the devil that wants to ruin my peace of mind. So he's playing a power game with me. So I feel like I'm trying to stop myself from shifting and adopting his frame. And then the guy gets up and starts to like stomp around, do the whole thing, talk over everyone in the room. And then he leaves, and then a very nice black queen comes in, which is cool. Today was the first time in like maybe 3 weeks I've seen a person of color. So that makes me feel safe, actually. I've been through so much of white America that I feel safe and at home when I see other races. Like when I see Indian people or Chinese people or indigenous people or black people or Mexican people, I actually feel safer and more comfortable because of how crazy I've seen what white America is like, how delusional and dysfunctional and prideful and aggressive and malevolent almost they get, how they just have no heart, you feel me? So that felt pretty good. There was me and a Chinese family and a black queen. After that, white guy threw all the shit on the ground, stared me down, and did all the things that I didn't like about white America. It was like a representation of everything that I was talking about. Came at me and then he left. Then I come here. I'm sitting under the umbrella and I'm singing my songs at the public park in the rain. You feel me? Things are going nice. A police officer comes up, stares me down like the robot, stomps by me. I just keep singing. I go, everything comes full circle. You gonna get what you deserve real soon. All the things that I said I would do came true. It's all thanks to the universe. And then he leaves. I'm under the umbrella another hour. And then another black man comes up. But this guy's dressed like Nike Tech. Hat to match the Nike Tech. He looks like he's in his 30s. But he's fit, like he works out. Not like these unhealthy fat white people. Not to bring race into it, it's just what I've seen. It's an obvious symbolism in the story based off what we've been going through the past couple weeks. And he just names off. He's like, are you Derek? No. Are you Larry? No. Are you Brian? No. And he goes off like 6 other people that are in my chat. And then he talks about, he asked me if I was the guy that was doing the hunger strike. Where I would stop eating because of the injustice of society. And then he leaves, and then the Red Cross calls me and said that a cop called him, and the cop is really, really fond of me. It's like an older guy, like the nicest cop I've met in my life, actually. Called the Red Cross about me, and he said he went looking for me last night because I had called the state police and asked if they could send community outreach because my tent is gone. So I was trying to get a replacement tent to make it through the storm. So they were out the whole time I was live streaming. A very, very nice sergeant of a whole police precinct was out looking for me. So that made me feel better, man. And then someone at the Red Cross that used to be a firefighter that had a brain injury called me. And they all wanted to know about my YouTube channel. So word is getting around. I'm sure a lot of these people in the live streams that tune in are like people that care about me, that heard about me in my travels, because I'm spreading around Vermont. People know me everywhere in Vermont at this point, except maybe like the tiny, tiny towns like Hardwick and Island. No, even in Island Pond they know me. The one place that people don't know me is the place I keep thinking I should go. Like, I've been thinking about going to this one place for like 6 months. And I just realized talking to you right now that that one place is the only place that people don't know who I am in Vermont. Everywhere else, I've met people in the community. Coincidentally, that one place is also the place that when I would drive, so last year I would get as much money as I could door dashing, and then I would drive and play my songs and just travel through and look at all the different ways that the trees and the mountains and the rivers move and see all the birds and stop at different public fishing spots to go sleep in the car and just enjoy the scenery and listen to music. So that I kept ending up at, there were like 3 different spots I kept ending up that were like, wow, I keep running into this place. This must be significant. And then those were all the places that my car broke down and I had to kind of fight my way out of this year. I kept ending up in these places last year, and then it turns out that I got stuck and trapped in those places the next year by pure coincidence. So the one place that I keep feeling drawn to, coincidentally, are also the people that come up to me. So I've had a couple girls come up and talk to me, a couple groups of girls come up and sit next to me while I'm sitting there, just like trying to get around me. They want me to start the interaction. And those girls are from these places, always. So I'm thinking, now I'm seeing like 6 other people that might be NPCs that were like just extras in my story, like one-off characters that I've never seen before that come up to me. Like one guy was from Dominican Republic and he came and wanted to learn how to play chess with me when I was sitting in the library teaching tons of kids how to play chess last year. I was playing chess with a bunch of homeless kids while crackheads were overdosing around us and trying to do what crackheads do, you feel me? And I was on the top floor of the library teaching kids how to play chess. And this old Dominican guy came up and he was telling me, this is exactly a year before I broke down and had to live in a shack in the woods. And this guy came up and told me that I just started living in a shack in the woods. It's really nice, man. I think that I'm going to start making music and all this stuff like that, you feel me? So I don't know what's next. If I fucked up, can you please give me a bird right to left? Right to left if I fucked up. Oh, guess what? Today I just opened my backpack. And in my pocket of my backpack, there was a coin. I picked up the coin and it's a Native American with the headdress. I flipped the back and it's a bison on a coin, on a nickel. It's from 1936. I look on eBay and they're going for about $2,000. but they also have a couple that are worth $70. So I don't know. I don't know. I'll show you. Just to reiterate how God uses motifs and themes in our lives to strengthen the narrative. Look what's in my heart pocket. Look what I'm pulling out of my heart to show you. It's a chief. That's not George Washington. And look on the back. This isn't an eagle. This isn't the Lincoln Memorial. It's a fucking bison. And it says Liberty, 1936. And it says Pluribus Unum. Exactly 12 hours after I was telling you guys that in a Native American group chat, I asked them about what it mean, how would you become a war chief in today's modern times? And then I told them my life story, and they said, you know what, you've done more than we have. They said, they were very respectful. They said, you'd have to be on the res. You don't know our, like, as much as we feel you and we understand you and we know that you're closer than most of the world to like the ancient traditions and the natural connection with the earth. And the level of understanding I was at is like stuff that they keep secret, that I naturally found by going out in the woods by myself. And I just had all this stuff that when I said it, they were like, okay. So it's, you have to touch an enemy without him knowing. You have to steal an enemy's horse. You have to wrestle a weapon away from the enemy. And then you have to lead a war party into battle and win. So, touch an enemy without him knowing. I fucked the ops girls and it drove them insane. And then they fell from grace and stalked me for years because I messed them up without them realizing, and they had to figure it out a long time later that I had sabotaged their life. Stolen enemy's horse. I've stolen cars. I've stolen motorhomes. I've stolen bikes from crackheads in Burlington that would bother me and would bother the whole town, and they were like mobilizing against us every night to come out and ruin everyone's lives, stealing bikes and raping girls and getting children hooked on crack and then trying to rape them and killing my friend. So I've stolen a lot of their shit. And they said you had to do it at night usually. So at night, I would sneak into their camps, their homeless camps, where they have guns, and all I had was a hatchet and a machete and a mile marker that I would use. I'm like, what am I going to do with a mile marker, bro? But I had it, and I had a machete on my side, and I had a hatchet in my back pocket. And I would sneak into these camps, and I would take their shit at night. For real. You feel me? You picking up what I'm putting down? I would go in and sneak into these guys with guns camps at night in the Burlington battlefield where the police don't give a fuck. And I would take their shit because I was so mad at the disrespect. Like, someone would say something rude to me, and I would get so angry, I'd go in and I'd try to take their most valuable possession without them knowing. And I'd leave. Like, I left with bikes, I left with tons of trinkets, I left with mementos, while they were passed out and asleep, and they thought I was a skunk because of how meticulous and quiet I was in the year of the cat. I read what you said, bro. I just don't. I'm telling a story. I would have answered you in a minute. What else? Oh, wrestled an enemy for a weapon. When I killed the crackhead in self-defense, and he came at me with a Timu baton, and I had a hatchet, and then he grabbed the hatchet, and I had to wrestle him on the ground. We wrestled against a fucking. So he grabbed the hatchet on one side, I grabbed my hatchet. He was holding right below the hand or the head, and I was grabbing it by the handle, and I had to pry it away from him, and then I had to shift, pick him up, throw him over my shoulder. I screamed, "This is not how Casey goes!" And I slammed him on the ground, and then I just hacked him to pieces with a hatchet. And then he started coughing, probably blood all over himself, trying to scream, and it wasn't working, and he took off out the door, and I was like, and I ran outside. I wish I had I wish I had the camera footage, but they wouldn't give it to me because then I would win, and I'd make global news. So I ran out the door, I tripped over something, I did a barrel roll, shot back up, and I slammed on the getaway driver's window until they sped off. So I have here's my van, it's the exact colors of my album color. If you guys have been following long enough, you understand that this is not real. This is a symbol, this is a metaphor. It's hard to believe because there's so much you gotta go through to deal with it. But you learn as it goes that this is symbolic. This is a motif. You see how crazy she is? What? She was staring me down, bro. Paranoid. Giving me dirty looks like she was afraid of what? That I waved? I said, "Hi. Hi, I see you staring at me. Hi." And she's young. Maybe her boyfriend is abusing her. And she's like a prisoner and they're homeless and she has no way to get anywhere and go home because they do drugs together. So maybe she's trapped, bro. So there's a lot to unpack with that. I'm gonna lay down and see how that all fits together later. I'm gonna piece it all together and realize the synchronicity of that event. I mean, it was a hot girl and the guy was driving a van and they had bikes to go trail riding. So that showed me that the happy life is possible with minimalism. You feel me? So what else did I do? I wrestled the guy for the thing. Oh, leading war parties to victory. Talk about so 3 things come to mind. My friends Jordan and Dakota, when I got out of the retreat where I had to make everybody work out when I was stuck in an insane asylum as a child because my parents gave me away. And I was trapped in a room, isolated for like 2 years. And all these crying kids that would show up because their parents gave up on them and the state doesn't care, would now be forced to become an adult at the age of 10 and realize that the staff members that are supposed to care for them see them as like pets and that the world doesn't recognize that we're human anymore because we're part of a system. So they would wake up to that realization and they would cry, and then I would come in and just start telling jokes and telling stories and doing stand-up routines and hitting on the staff members that were girls and just having a good time. And then they'd see me do push-ups and read books while I was in a permanent acid trip. I'd just be reading books, doing push-ups, making jokes, making everything fun, making everything enjoyable, teaching these kids skills, kind of like hammering out all the like shit that their parents taught them that obviously didn't work. Shut up! So I led those kids out of institutions. And then when I got out, I just adopted a bunch of different friends that were lonely losers that would probably grow up to be creeps and pedos on Vitaly Stream. And I needed a place to stay because I was homeless. My parents gave me up. So I would stay at their house in the projects and shit. And I would work out every day. They'd see me with tons of bitches. I would bring them along on my dates like dogs and just guide them out of their own mental health issues. And I did it for like 15, 20 kids in high school, at least. I had tons of girls that I raised the standard for, taking them on amazing dates and just showing people how to have fun. This is just my monologues. Then so 2020, there was like, I had a brain injury. I mean, I went to college and we made an album, me and a bunch of kids made an album together. But after that, I had a brain injury and I was stuck in public housing, and then COVID happened. So during COVID, there was like 100 to 200 kids. Look, there's a Cybertruck in my house colors, my favorite colors. can't see it. That was dope. That was awesome. That was amazing. That was epic. That was fine as hell, bro. Shut up. So they don't like that. Look, I triggered them all. Can you see it? Hundreds of crows just got mad that I told them to shut up, and they all flew out of the tree at me, and then I pointed the camera at them and they went back. There's hundreds of crows up there. So what else did I do, man? Then I went to South. Oh yeah, there was like 300 kids that would come into my tiny apartment where I felt like I was trapped, and then it turns out I was like providing a safe environment for them. And instead of like running off to be famous like I wanted to do, I got to do all the things I wanted to do from there while also having tons and tons of people over and working through problems. Then I went to South Beach and I led an army of autistic pickup artists with a guy named Evolution Daily, and we all stormed South Beach together. So that's leading a war camp to victory. We all partied and got laid that night on South Beach in the middle of COVID, when the Matrix was at its height and they were like getting violent and just like throwing people down and beating the fuck out of them for not wearing a mask. And we were all maskless and shirtless and buff, and then picking up girls and as autistic men and taking them back to the Airbnb on South Beach when I was 21. Then I went to West Virginia and a lot of stuff happened there. Then I came home, and then I set off. I suffered for months, and then I set off on this epic quest, and tons and tons of stories about that, leading kids out of homelessness, leading adults that work in community action programs, organizing them and then getting them together to save their life by making them get inspired to lose weight, and then showing them how I talk to girls and the vibe that I set. So then all those guys became like aspects of myself. So all the girls liked them because they liked me, and I taught them how to be like me. So I was homeless and a bum, like blisters on my feet, my Tim boots with like my toe sticking out, and like this hot baddie named after Brennus, her name's Brenna, named after the Celtic barbarian king that overthrew Rome when they sacked it way back like 400 years before Jesus. So the first thing I said was explaining to her that story. And she liked me a lot. She wants me to check in with her when I'm older. She's like 27, and she had a boyfriend and when I was 23. So she said, come back in a couple years, because she probably saw my potential, and she had a boyfriend at the time. So she was like, maybe if it doesn't work out. So in front of all these old crackheads that are strung out and aggressive and pieces of shit, and there's this beautiful woman that volunteers at the homeless shelter. There's my car again, my Cybertruck. He's just doing laps around. Oh, I hugged her and picked her up, and she giggled and everything. And I made all these homeless guys across Burlington that were all there. They all got to see me do what they've been trying to do, and they'll never be able to do again for decades, which is just get the girl to like them. And then I left with my crown hat on and my big jacket with the bat hanging out of my backpack and the machete at my side. And I walked back out into the battlefield where all the prissy white people are going to work and all the homeless people are violently attacking each other and the police don't care. So it was like a war zone that you'd have no idea was happening, but it was all around them at all times, and they were just tuning out like robots like this. I have to go to work. And I was protecting children from rape at night. You feel me? So I've led many, many war camps to victory. I've wrestled somebody for a weapon. I've touched an enemy without him knowing. And I've stolen an enemy's horse, metaphorically. I've stolen cars and bikes. Arguably harder to do than get on a horse and ride away. And then I came to that realization last night. And then as soon as I come to that realization that I did all the things necessary to be a war chief in ancient time or olden days, then I just find this Native American coin from 1936 in my pocket. Can you see it, fam? Bam! Mokwa. It's destined. It's predestined. It's a stage. And I overcame the challenges. And now I'm here. The storm has just subsided right when I get to this point. Look, the tornadoes are gone. The sky is coming out. I don't know what that black flag is, but that's here. And I don't know what to do next, man, but I'm loving the music that I make. Yes, if in Avatar it's the White Lotus, the secret masters that work to save the world regardless of countries' borders and different political parties. And it's also Mac Miller's tattoo. Because I talked to him 2 days before he died. And his music was really impactful on me and my foster brother. My foster brother was sitting in so there's this giant concert with thousands of people. My foster brother, when he was like 14 years old, crawled his way into the middle and just stood there in awe at all the music and the beauty of the art. He didn't care about the sex going on around him or the drugs or the partying or the pain. He just cared about the beauty of the whole moment. And then Mac Miller turned his head like a little bit. Didn't he? I don't think he even saw this kid. And just took his hat off and whipped it. And then it landed on the dude's head. And then he went on to be a local celebrity. And we'd make music together all the time. He's one of my biggest influences and inspirations. And when we met each other, we were wearing the same Ireland shirt. You feel me? They all tuned out. Why? So that happened. So then, so that guy, I don't know if it's like an ever cycling simulation and that was like not real. But someone came up and called out all my regulars that are no longer in the chat. I had like 5 or 6 regulars that were commenting every time I went live. And then as soon as they disappeared, some stranger comes up and names all of them. So who knows if they're real, brother? But we're here. So yeah, man, that was just the past 24 hours. I'm gonna take a piss, listen to some music, and continue on making music. Trying to figure shit out. I need a computer for it, man. There's nothing I can do until I get a computer. And that's gonna cost me like 350 smackers. And I have no source of income currently. So I don't know what to do. I can't make merch, I can't do clip farming content, I can't do all these things until I have that. Unless I want to outsource to one of you guys to come up with my designs and then you can get a percentage of what I sell. It's just, or maybe I was just shown a local business about like 60 miles west that I met last year that does embroidery. So they could make some pretty cool merch for us. They could make some armor that when we go out in public, we're like invading the minds of the people. Feel me? So I'm the Bearcat, brother. Today's the first day of the Egyptian New Year. When I found my cool coin. Shout out Vermont. I think it's one of the most beautiful places. I keep thinking that, oh, look at this. Check out this RV. Where the fuck is he? There he is. Yeah, England, does England have any mountains? Does England have any actual mountains? There are long, vast trail networks through where you could run into moose and bear. Do you have eagles in England? Do you have bald eagles that soar over the skies and put the crows in their place? Hear my birds? I have to piss. And I know that security guard watched that whole thing. There's a security guard. That whiny fat cunt I mentioned before. I guarantee you she's just sitting in there watching the whole thing. Scotland! Scotland! Yeah, of course, bears came from Ireland. Bears and deer and elk and moose all originated in Ireland when the single cell amoebas, I guess, grew up. The things that we now know, bears and elk, came from Ireland. And they were the biggest. The tallest people, the biggest animals came out of that tiny island. Why? Is it because Ireland's got no forests? When I see Ireland, I see a bunch of fields with tiny trees. So it just makes sense. It seems the bigger the trees, the smaller the animals for some reason. When the trees are gigantic, the animals tend to be very small. And when the trees are small, the animals tend to be huge. Have you noticed that? In Africa, the trees are small and the animals are gigantic. In Ireland, the trees are small, but the animals became gigantic. In California, with the redwood trees, the animals are all very small. Why? Why? Is Adam Gregory still here? If Adam ain't here, I'm gonna get off. I was gonna talk to him about merch. ESG, what's up? Are you an artist? If you're really a 33 life path, man, I'm interested in what you create. I'm interested in what your creative endeavors are because it's important. I want to know what you do for work. I do this with all my subs. When people are active chatters, I want to know what's your life like, fam? Just like a summary, brother. What are you trying to do? Oh yeah, you told me what you're trying to do in life. Basically, I hate well, if you want to help me with my channel, like making edits and shit, eventually in the future it might be profitable. I'm not sure what's gonna happen next. The election is very soon. And as soon as the election happens, like what, you think Trump's just gonna, like, Trump and Harris both have pretty serious agendas. And we're in the middle of a war right now. So I don't know what's gonna happen next. But I would like to have a costume, man. I would like to wear armor. If I'm gonna wear the same outfit every day, it might as well be like something legendary. You feel me? But yeah. If you're a 33 life path, I'm finding you guys like needles in the haystack. You guys find me at 4444. You guys find me. All these 33 life paths keep finding me. And I get to, I don't know, continue on my mission. And they're all in separate parts of the world too, which is really cool. There's never a 30. I don't have any 33 life paths that I know of that are in. I'm always by myself. I never run into other 33s, except for these little moments before they go off on their own adventures. My name means a tree, and I started off in southern Vermont, and my whole life I'm just continuously growing up to the top of Vermont in different directions. I'm on these adventures where I set off and then I come back and then I set off and then I come back and then I set off. And I grow in different ways through Vermont, and I see different aspects of this beautiful place full of horrible people that are amazing people that are just misguided, and they're getting worse. Their minds are gentrifying. I don't know, man. Are you rich? Are you like active in in your community? Do you like go to events? Do they have like music shows in England? Do you have like festivals that you go to? Or you just kind of go to work, go home and chill? You got a shawty, like a fiance or something? How old are you? Without giving me too much that the Fed, like, don't say anything that would make the feds angry. But the other person, the other person now is at Venice Beach, and she doesn't work. But with 33 life paths, we don't really have to work because it seems like things just come to us. As my exactly what I was manifesting is now right in front of me, driving. What I was trying to get is right in front of me right now. And then like this bike that I showed you. Shit just comes to us. Because we're the most humble and compassionate, and that makes us the most arrogant, if you catch my drift. So I had to have the arrogance beaten out of me. Burtonwood Air Base. Right when you said Burtonwood Air Base, the police sirens went off. Right when I read Burtonwood Air Base, the police are here. I don't know what's next, man. I just keep asking God for money. I just keep asking, rain down blessings on me so that I may do more. For what? Like a dormitory, or their apartments now, or are you active military, or what? I think you said you were smoking the ganja, so I don't think you're on the job. You feel me? I got inspired to tell you that if you don't have a gym in there already, you should put a gym in that airbase. You should put a bench press in the lat pull down bar, and a pull up and dip bar, and a leg press, and something else. And then I saw that you could turn it into a Snap Fitness, a 24-hour fitness. Make a lot of money with that. You could probably just like rent it and then sell it to another gym somewhere in England. Or maybe that was showing me that I should go the next place that I'm trying to go, there's what I just said, there's the Snap Fitness. So I could work out and shower. And there's supposed to be there's a police officer that's going to drive 30 miles up to meet me today to give me a tent at some point. Doesn't the whole world feel different than it did a week ago? Does all your guys doesn't reality just feel like fresh after the Lions Gate? To me, the whole world feels refreshed than it did a week ago. Which is weird because I got no rest. I just fasted and I channeled the Lionsgate energies, and I think I pushed myself into a better timeline, maybe. The whole world feels nicer. The people don't. The people are having a tough time. But there's probably a delay on the and I only have top messages on. I keep forgetting to put all messages on, so I miss a lot of the comments when I don't do that. Like I missed Nick Her asked me if I'm okay. I'm good, man. Melody Plays said she's gonna edit me. I hope Melody Plays is not 12 years old. And then who's KK? She looks like a baddie. KK. Who else is here? I'm the king of the north. We ride at dawn. Do push-ups, faggots. I'm out of cigarettes. My songs are coming back to my head. I have to keep making music. I need $300 somehow. How do I get the masses to... How do I get people to donate to my YouTube channel, man? I need 300 smackers. Is this my last cigarette? It is my last cigarette. And then I'll check if I have... I think, I returned something from Temu. I thought about doing sleep streams and subathons, or maybe moving to Twitch where it's more natural, like the people that you'd meet on Twitch the same way you meet people scrolling on YouTube. People scroll on Twitch now kind of brainwash into the habit of investing in streamers, whereas YouTube people are more in the habit of just watching and eating. In Twitch, it's like part of the experience is to treat your streamer like a Tamagotchi pet and to help pay their rent and shit. On YouTube, it's like more like a TV show. I'll tell you what, these tarot readers that I was watching, so before I knew about tarot at all, before I had even given it a second thought, people had come up to me the same way that I talk about like the NPCs, the strangers that I meet that say things that are very meaningful, like 2 months in the future, that I look back and I'm like, wow, they just gave me all the keys to what was going to happen if I had just paid attention. And I really felt the significance of it when they said it. I was like, why does that hit me so hard when they said that? It was just a random passing thought. Like I'm just having a conversation and then somebody goes, and then my friend reads tarot and then keeps going. And then I just had 6 months of me watching tarot readers. But those tarot readers, they didn't get any money at all for the 6 months. And then during this Lionsgate portal, they all collect, like all the tarot readers that I saw collectively got about $2 grand, $3 grand each. Like they were just being flooded with super chat donations during the Lionsgate portal. Alright, let me know how my audio is, man. What am I at for charge? I'm at 6. What's this at? 15% on my portable power pack. So I want everyone here to get buff. I've shown you how nice how easy it is to gain muscle when you actually fast and get sunlight and learn about how to use energy and gain presence so that you actually stimulate all of your cells when you do push-ups, the mind-muscle connection. And then my shit just flares out. I get huge. 100 push-ups a day for 3 days. And then I'm inflated. So it's not hard, and it's fun. I hated push-ups when I was comfortable and I'd have to wake up from my bed and then force myself to get push-ups. But when I fall asleep on the ground and then I roll over to do push-ups, it's an amazing experience. Yeah. My fault. I need to buy one of those little... I want a mic like this that I can clip on here and put in my pocket, and somehow they'd be linking the microphone to the Kick streams on Kick. So I want to know how they do that, and then I could live stream and have a real mic. And when I have a real mic, then I could be interviewing these people that come into my simulation. I don't know, it just feels fresh. My songs are still here. My songs are still coming out of the ether. That's where I'm at, brother. That's where I'm at, brothers. Brothers. They hate when I look at the camera, man. Everyone tunes out when I look at the camera. When I look at the phone, everyone leaves. If I talk like this for hours, people are interested. But when I look at the camera, people leave. It's too scary for them. It's also kind of weird that I wish I could go live together, but I haven't figured that out yet. I'd need a second phone to be able to DM people. The problem is that the election's happening and the world's going to go crazy and the robots are coming and Elon Musk has warehouses full of iRobot people. And when I go in there, society seems so messed up and fucked up. It's like I can't even function in it anymore. I'm best out in the woods, where everything's so much better than you realize. Like, the energy's so amazing, and I feel so complete. Then I go in, and it doesn't work. And you can go on my YouTube channel, brother. You can scroll down. I've tried for about 6 months, and it was like, I've had management flip out at me for no reason. Like, suddenly I'm like going in for an application and the guy's in my face, like pressing me, like almost eye to eye. Just like trying to get me to submit like a dog. And then sometimes I do the application process, and then as soon as he says, sign your life away, then I sign my life, I guess. Like, I just signed the document. Then they get crazy, start cackling, they turn into bullies. They start to order me around. It gets really dark and negative, and then I feel like I have no presence, and then suddenly the girls don't look at me anymore, and they're all more interested in the guy that told me to sign my life away. But I tried working at a job. The last job I worked at was a nice resort, and they wouldn't feed me. Like, I told them I was homeless and I'm just working to fix my car and then get better. Is it okay if I have something from the kitchen? And they would rather I starved. And then it turns out that they hire people as a tax write-off, so they go for people that are different ethnicities and people that are homeless so that they can write it off, and then they make it so unbearable for them that the people quit, and then they can say, I don't know what happened, and we tried to hire him and then he left, and then they bring in the next person, because every time they hire someone that's a tax write-off, the more people that they can get in. So that was a lot of the jobs I worked at last year. And then I would DoorDash for 12 hours a day. I would DoorDash and Instacart, and I made enough that I was able to travel, but not enough that I could buy plugins for my computer. And I have all these dreams and goals and amazing things that can happen. It's just, I'd have to put my trust, like, this is proven to me that you can't trust anybody. That people suck. except me. And it's taken me like probably lifetimes to get there. I don't know what mycology is. Is that mushrooms? The weather was cold in the wintertime. I'm in Vermont, brother. But yeah, I don't, unless I get like a very obvious sign I'm supposed to stay here, I think it's time I move to the next town. My song just came to my head. Take off on my motorcycle. Straight out towards that grand horizon. Take the blame so you can play pretend. I wish you all well. I'll see you in hell. I'll see you in hell. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen any. I think I saw chaga has to grow on trees, right? There's definitely like those dark brown mushroom, the dark black mushrooms that look like chaga, but I see those on the ground. I don't see any chaga on the trees. And I see some mushrooms. There's like tons of people go out foraging. Like a huge part of Vermont is they get like bird dogs and they train the bird dogs to spot the mushrooms as they go out, and then they run back and bring you to the different mushrooms. I know, man. I don't know if you how new you are, John Smith. John Smith was my favorite texture pack in Minecraft. Are you talking are you talking about trans people? Are you talking about a ladyboy? Are you talking about someone that cut their dick off and inserted a pocket pussy? People are saying Andrew Tate is a trap. And that's why he doesn't use his real name. But that can't be true, man. He was the world champion boxer, right? It's just when he wears boxers, no one can see his dick. Andrew Tate has such a tiny penis that he wears like literal thongs. Oh, she's most likely. If you believe she's sent from the devil, you believe that um, you're supposed to lead your woman as God leads you. Does that make sense? So they're all kind of like the vessels for your energy. And then the better your energy is, the more attracted they'll want to be to you because they want to be led like that, and they want to be a house. Like the Native Americans, the women, when they would travel, the women would be the house, and the man would put his things inside the house. And then when the woman wanted to divorce a man, she just put all of his stuff outside the teepee. And then he would know it's over. Take your shit and go elsewhere. Sleep on the ground with the dogs or find somebody else. But you're not staying here. So I would say the timing of everything, like to be, because you're talking about being a spiritual warrior right now. You'd have to understand like how hopeful you feel, how powerful the energy is, how powerful you feel inside. And then when the people show up, you have to use discernment. You have to see like, what do these people want from you? You kind of have to pay attention to the flow of everything, so you know. You have to fast, sunlight, probiotics, ketosis, autophagy, neurogenesis, structured morning routines and stuff, structured routines to consistently give yourself progress so that you can structure your life to maintain hope. And then when you break through that barrier, which is too much, and you guys don't deserve to know this, and people actively encourage me to not tell you this, but when you finally hold that hope long enough and you've built up this foundation, there's my bird going right to left, meaning that I'm on the right path. Because that's what I asked for. And it happens all the time. especially on my YouTube when I go live. Um, Once you have that practice down and you're consistently making progress and you break through towards your dream life, whatever you're working towards, and then suddenly there's a distraction. So like I would have an amazing song, I'd feel blessed by God, I'd feel this immense light in my mind, like I became a star. And then suddenly I have like 6 DMs of girls that literally just say, "I want to fuck you right now." And then when I would do it, the last girl that I did that with brought an altar out. She was a hot yoga instructor in like a nice house. And then after we hooked up, she brought an altar out, brought her Nepali friends over, and they started chanting and doing a ritual. And I felt like this giant dragon presence, like the Skyrim dragon, like flew into the side of the building in the spirit realm, and I could feel it controlling the people. And I had to like tell it no, and then fight back against it. And couldn't figure it out, but I didn't let him affect me. And then